Aloha, this is Joshua Hayes for your September 19th, 2008 report. And let me start it out by saying, oh my God, what an amazing rally we have seen the last 2 days. If you're looking for a follow-through day to come soon, you are doing the right thing. What I want to notice is, in the best bull markets come, when the bear market, do you see how this line trend, the price trends below the 50-day moving average while the 200-day moving average stays above the 50-day moving average? This is very bearish, and it was very bearish the entire way. And right around here, when volume came back and started to pick up after the vacation of Labor Day, you can see that a strong down day followed by a weak up day followed by another very vicious down day hit. But we've been nailed with back-to-back extremely strong accumulation days. Day 1 and Day 2 and Day 4 of your market follow-through days should be your most powerful. And let me tell you something. We have what we could be calling a market bottom here soon at bigwavetrading.com. We follow the Investors Business Daily Can Slim model, which says that you will have 2 big up days that are clear on the indexes, followed by either 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days of sessions where the market goes sideways to down a little bit, and then another explosion. Well, day 1 was on Thursday, and it jumped 4.5% the New York Stock Exchange. Today, it jumped 5.3% for a 2-day gain of an amazing 10%. That is huge. It's amazing, and it's coming on volume higher than any of the sell-offs. And today's volume, I don't know if this is billion here, but if it was 77 billion yesterday, it was 81 billion today. It was huge. This index is extremely bullish, but to be a proper breakout, this all could still fail because it's not yet above the 50 or 200-day moving average. I have never seen follow-through days that come below the 50 and 200-day moving average that last for a long time. Most of them that I see fail. So what I will have to see here is 1 day of the market not going anywhere on Monday, and then Tuesday stocks are up in between 3 and 5% on huge volume, which I'm sure would take this index close to the 200-day moving average. And if it's on volume as high as it was today, you better believe I'll call it a follow-through day. I'll get rid of all of my shorts just like that, because that's how the market works. And I will go looking for longs. Now let's look at the S&P 500 to see if it's got the exact same look. It's got the exact same look, except for it has one additional thing. Nope, it's still below the 50-day moving average. It has a 2-day run of 8.53%, but once again, look at volume. Volume is huge on Thursday compared to the volume on the downside in September. And today, volume is just at a level that I haven't seen since the top in 2007. So it's been a long time since I've seen extremely strong volume like this. And I'm telling you, I'm very bullish about this. Let's go to the NASDAQ to see what the NASDAQ looks like. It should be in a little bit of a weaker position. It seemed like the NASDAQ had all of its gains in the morning and actually sold off during the day, which I find actually not that bearish. So I find it more bearish on the big index side, the New York Stock Exchange and S&P 500, than I do here on the NASDAQ. In 2 days, it is up 8.34%, so it's up as just as much as the S&P 500. And as you can see, volume for the 2 days, that's bigger, I think, than any other volume of 2 days I can find on this chart going back to 2000. So, not only is volume today higher than anything that even yesterday's volume. Yesterday's volume was bigger than any volume the past 4 years. And when you combine that with today's volume, taking out yesterday's volume, you've got 2 days of volume that's bigger than anything this NASDAQ's ever seen. So the NASDAQ has never seen this much accumulation. So something has to be going on here. There has to be a real saving grace, as right here there was a big up day on a huge up volume, much bigger than the day before when it sold off 3%, a 3.6%. Looked like it broke down on heavy volume, but got saved by 1.28% gain, but volume was huge. And then after another breakdown, which made it look worse, volume was lower. And then you had the huge day yesterday, and then there's a tail, which means price came off the lows and gave a strong close. Now, the one last index I want to look at, I know what it's going to look like when I look at it. Look at that. There's your bullish index. There is your leading index. In 2 days, it is up 9.74%. Even though that is not as big as the New York Stock Exchange 10%, the fact that this stock is above the 5,200-day moving average here, goes below it on the day where we think that the real failure came, which was just a test for Thursday's huge up day on 6%, taking the price above the 5,200-day moving average. This is what you want follow-through days to look like. So let's say that let's call this day 1, which it isn't now because I believe volume went lower than the day before. Yeah, so it can't be. So day 1 was the day. Let's pretend like this was day 1, though. If this was day 1, this was day 2, which it wasn't because the lows of the day went past the lows of the day of the previous day. And then day 2 took out the 50 and 200-day moving average. And day 3 really exploded past the 50 and 200-day moving average on I got 2% there, on a 2-day move of 9.74%. I'm sure we can't see volume, but what you can see is an S&P 600 basically going sideways here. Let's pick a random date at the top and see where we're at now. I like doing this always. And we are down 0.17%. But while we're down 0.17% on the S&P 600 since the beginning of 2008. The relative strength line has flown into positive territory, and it's above the old highs by a lot, while price is not above the old highs. So this relative strength says that the S&P 600 is where the new leaders are going to come from. And I tell you what, I got a video of leading stocks that we're going to look at here. 293 is the total of the stocks in it. So that means that there's 293 long positions that could be a big winner out there. We're going to look at that in part 2 and probably split part 2 up into 3 different sections and then do a part 3, which is the shorts, which I'm sure we have none of. Let me see how much time we have here. It's near the end, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. This was a great day. I'm very happy. I covered my shorts, basically most of them, on 9/12, 9/16, I'm looking at my diary, and yesterday. I basically sold out of all my shorts. I'm only 5% short, so I didn't get hurt today. I can't wait to see if this is a real rally or not. This is Joshua Hayes from BigWayTrading.com saying aloha. Have a great weekend.